In 1932, Helmut de Terra led a daring journey into Ladakh, across frozen passes, rising lakes, and the last unmapped edges of the Himalaya. What they discovered would rewrite the science of this forgotten frontier. After returning from Dr. Trinkler's Central Asian expedition in 1928, Helmut de Terra felt certain that another journey to eastern Ladakh and the Tibetan borderland would soon be necessary. The previous work demanded more detailed data to complete scientific knowledge of this little-known but promising region north of the Himalaya. The unique position of Ladakh, lying between the Karakoram peaks in the northwest and the rolling plateau of Lingzi Tang and Changtang in the southeast, made it an important field for geographical, geological, and morphological studies. The expedition also aimed to investigate lakes between Kashmir and northwestern Tibet, and included Kashmir and parts of the Salt Range, though only 5 summer months of 1932 were spent in Ladakh. The expedition was sponsored by Yale University and the American Geographical Society. Its staff included G.E. Hutchinson, Assistant Professor of Biology at Yale, G.E. Lewis, Fellow in Vertebrate Paleontology, de Terra's wife, and himself as leader. The Surveyor General of India attached the experienced surveyor Khan Sahib Afraz Gul Khan to the Karakoram section. The party gathered in Srinagar, prepared to leave on May 16th. De Terra's wife had solved ration packing efficiently, while provisions were sent ahead to Leh. 40 animals were needed, and a caravan dealer was hired to take them to Kargil. The Zoji La was officially closed with heavy snow, but they crossed it between 2 and 6 in the morning. Hours later, avalanches blocked the pass, proving their night march wise, and they reached Matayan safely. In Leh, ponies were purchased since yaks were scarce and costly. Sabur Malik of Stock became caravan bashi, managing horses and 12 coolies. Though not ideal, he had prior expedition experience. Ponies, saddles, and coolie supplies were procured, while geological and biological excursions were made around Leh. At Hemis Gumpa, de Terra discovered fossil plants in tertiary formations, evidence of a petrified forest. The caravan left Leh on June 21st, reaching Digar Polu at 15,200 feet. Crossing the Digar La at 17,860 feet involved climbing steep, boulder-strewn ridges. The surveyor set up his plane table despite clouds and later presented the first map. Altitude sickness struck 2 members, but was relieved by coffee and cola pills. The descent to Digar involved a sudden 5,000-foot drop, characteristic of Ladakh's valleys. Camping near Labaps at 11,800 feet, they then ascended again to Sundung at 14,000 feet. Passing Kurgon Gompa, they reached Tang Yar, a salt trade post. Yaks awaited them, but saddle wounds showed the poor design of Turkey straw saddles. Heavy snow forced them to abandon the Nebok La and cross the Shakya La at 18 to 100 feet. The panorama revealed connections between the Kailas Karakoram and the Pangong Ranges. Reaching Tangse, de Terra recalled earlier visits, its monastery frescoes, and Nestorian Christian inscriptions. 2 marches brought them to Pangong Lake, where Hutchinson began biological work with a rubber boat. Weather turned stormy with hail, snow, and dust storms. From Pahobrang, they secured yaks and ponies for the next stage. An excursion to Mang revealed interglacial clay beds, moraines, and brackish water inhabited by Gamaris and Daphne. From high vantage points, de Terra confirmed that the Kulungpa Plain was a remnant of a plateau, once extending across Karakoram and Tibet. On July 11th, they left Togarma, for Ororotsetso, a frozen lake rich with life. De Terra descended into the gorge of the Lower Changchenmo, finding it impassable for caravans, and returned via Chagra. Proceeding over the Marsamikla, they reached Pomzal and Kayam, where fossils confirm the existence of the ancient Tethys Sea. Hutchinson stayed at lakes, while De Terra surveyed structures and collected specimens. At Nang Ri, they observed game and herds of Kiang. From high ridges, De Terra traced the Mustaq Karakoram's extension to Tibet. Scarcity of water led them to Migpal Kongma and Nyagzu, where extreme heat was recorded. Splitting routes, they reconvened at Chartse on Pangong's northern shore. Rising lake levels were confirmed by drowned paths, terraces, and soundings showing submersion of former landmarks. At Shushul, fossils and geology provided evidence of folding and faulting, while Hutchinson found a new fish in Pangurtso. On August 16th, they crossed the Statrao La, losing one pony, the only transport animal lost in 4.5 months. Mitpal Tso, Yaye Tso, Kiagar Tso, and finally Tso Moriri showed evidence of rising lake levels, tilted terraces, and crustal movements. At Tso Moriri, surrounded by plateau remnants and Spiti's snowy massifs, they visited Hemis Gumpa and observed Maniwals submerged by lake rise. On August 34, they reached Kar Tso, with over 30 terraces, the highest 360 feet above the lake. The expedition ended by returning down the Indus Valley to Leh. Their results included mapping for 600 square miles, tracing the Karakoram's orographic trends, conducting geological surveys with new fossil evidence, investigating 9 lakes, assembling zoological collections of fish, crustaceans, insects, and mammals, and creating a herbarium of over 500 Ladakh plant specimens.